proceed with the motional EMF. So this is also an electromotive force which, when the conducting rods moves perpendicular to a uniform magnetic field, emotional, not emotional, but emotional EMF is induced. So the magnetic or the magnitude of the motional EMF is given by B times L times B, where L is length of the rod and V is its velocity. So what is again B? So B is the magnetic field. So again, the formula is B times L times V, or the magnetic field times the length times the velocity. Okay. Now, so we have here the induced electric fields. So what is induced electric fields? So we are done with induced current. Now let's proceed with induced electric fields. So it is a changing magnetic field produces an electric field that forms closed loops. Yes, that is the induced electric fields. Okay, so this induced electric field is responsible for driving the induced current even in the absence of battery. So yes, it has to be paired with a induced current because it is responsible for driving it. Yeah, that is the purpose of the induced electric field. Okay, so let's proceed with the induced current. Okay, so when a metal object moves through a magnetic field, circulating currents called eddy currents are induced inside the metal, and these currents can cause heating and energy loss, but they are also useful in applications such as metal detectors and magnetic braking systems. So we also have these displacement currents. So Ampere's law alone is incomplete when applied to a charging capacitor. To resolve this, Maxwell introduced the concept of displacement current, which accounts for the changing electric fields between the capacitor plates. Alright, so now let's proceed with the Maxwell's equation. So we are done with induced current, induced electric fields, magnetic flux. So now let's proceed with the Maxwell's equation, because this equation is very important in order for us to understand how electricity and magnetism works in various laws. So all the laws of electricity and magnetism are summarized by four equations known as the Maxwell's equation. So this equation shows the deep symmetry between electric fields and magnetic fields and explain how electromagnetic waves can exist. So later we will have an example or the sample problem for all of this. So in order for you not to just understand about this concept, but also how to solve a problem itself. So I will give an example later. So we will just have to, you know, explain about the concept of this topic, which is the electromagnetic induction, before we proceed with solving. Okay, so we have in next slide, which is superconductivity and the Meissner effect. So when a material becomes superconducting, its electrical resistance drop to zero. Again, if the material becomes superconducting, its electrical resistance drops to zero. Why? It's because it is superconductive. There's a lot of the current, there's a lot of electricity that would pass in that material. That's why there'd be a low to zero electrical resistance, unless you have to put a resistor in it. So the Meissner effect occurs when a superconductor expels all the magnetic flux from its interior, making it a perfect diamagnet. So what is diamagnet? So this effect allows magnetic levitation to occur. So magnetic levitation, are you familiar with it? So if you're going to use you can just simulate it if you have a two magnet. So if you're going to use a two magnet in here, for example, I don't have a magnet here, but you just have to visualize about it. So imagine we have a two magnet. So in a magnet, we have a positive and also the negative, which you just have imagine about it, because again, there's a concept that explain about if we're going to to pin out, to, to, what do you call this? Pin to, positive to positive, it will what? It will repel, because it should be opposite, because opposite attracts and same signs what? Repel. Okay? So that is where the magnetic levitation takes place. Because if there's something to repel, therefore there's a levitation. That is the concept of the magnetic levitation, in which the superconductivity and also the Meissner effect. Okay? So we have here the sample problem. So for the magnetic flux. So I will just flash on the screen the word problem. So in here in the paper, I will just give the given. So for the given, we have here the magnetic field, which is B, is equal to 0.40 Tesla, and the area is 0.25 meter squared, and the angle, which is theta, is equal to 60 degrees. So if we are going to look back to our magnetic flux formula, we have the formula, which is the magnetic flux, or the pi sub B, is equal to the magnetic field times the area times the cosine theta. So let's substitute the values. Okay, so we have to get our calculator, scientific calculator for this. So let's substitute 0.40 Tesla, and also the area 0.25 meter squared, and the cosine 60 degrees. So magnetic flux is equal to, if we're going to use a calculator for this, so let's get a calculator. Okay, so we have here our calculator. So let's have here first the cosine 60. So actually you can just do anything, but as long as you have to follow the PEMDAS, which is, I think you are familiar with PEMDAS naman, no, diba? So let's put cosine 60. But so I got a new calculator, so let's have it calculated. Cosine 60 degree is, cosine 60 is 0.5. So let's just copy it first. The theta 0.25 meter squared and 0.5. Magnetic flux is equal to, now let's solve for the this in parentheses. Well, yeah, I know that we follow PEMDAS, we should have this parenthesis here calculated before the cosine, so you can just do it in another way. So let's substitute 0.40, 0.40, and 0.25. 0.1. What is the unit? The unit is Weber. WB. Because if you're going to times the Tesla to the square meter, it will turn into Weber. WB. Okay, so times 0.5. Therefore, the answer is So, okay, so let's calculate. 0.1 times 0.5 is no 0.05. 0.05. So the answer is 0.05 Weber. Okay, so this is the example for the magnetic flux. Magnetic flux. All right. That is okay. So that is just a simple example or sample problem for the magnetic magnetic flux. So now let's proceed with a Faraday's law formula. The Faraday's law of induction, which is we have the formula the E, or the EMF in volts in the electromotive force is equal to the D, because D, and the magnetic flux in Weber, and over the dt, the time. Okay, so this is the formula for the Faraday's law, which involves time. Okay, so this induced EMF is equal to the negative rate of change of magnetic flux with respect to time. Okay, so the negative sign is based on the Lenz's law. So this is the negative sign. It is for the Lenz's law. Okay, this is law. So again, this is the EMF, or EMF, the electromotive force, and this is the change of magnetic flux. Change of magnetic flux in Weber. And this is the change in time. Change in time. So this is for the formula for Faraday's law. Faraday's law of induction. Okay? For this Faraday's law of induction, we have unit volts because the EMF is always volts. It is electromotive force. It is always volts. Regardless, it is a force, which might people think that it should be Newton, but it is always volts. Because if we're going to have here because for the magnetic flux, we have the WB and also the time, which is only equal to volts. Which is equal to volts. Okay, so we're done with introducing the Faraday's law of induction formula. So now let's have a sample problem. So I will just be giving the sample problem given so that we can have it answer very quick. So the flux, we have here the given. The flux changes with from 0.10 Weber to 0.30 Weber. And the time interval is 0.20 seconds. Now, let's recall the formula for the Faraday's law. The formula is EMF, or the electromotive force, is equal to the change in electromagnet